Earlier, I spoke with Democratic Senator from the state of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman. Senator, thank you very much for joining me, sir.
Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure to be here. Hi.
Senator, thank you. Senator, last night, obviously the president of the stadium mentioned Iran. All eyes are now on Iran. And Steve Witkoff is headed to Geneva to perhaps negotiate something, but it doesn't look particularly favorable. What is your reasonable expectation of what's going to happen?
Well, everyone's talking about the State of Union speech. And then when that came up last night, I think I might have been the only Democrat to stand up and clap. The things that when the president referenced Midnight Hammer and military against Iran. So for me, with that, I don't think we can ever negotiate with Iran, because the last time there was a significant kind of treaty that ended up with 900 pounds of just below weapon grade uranium enrichment. And now after what Iran has done, they killed tens of thousands of their own young people in there. So this is clearly where we're at. And I also think that the Iranian regime, everything that we read and see, that the regime has been the weakest that they've been in decades right now. So I think we have a unique opportunity to topple it or to install a better way forward for Iran. So I'm open to that. And now I think I've heard that we are going to bring the Iranian war powers bill up tomorrow. And I just said that. I'm going to vote that down again, because I think the president absolutely needs to have the flexibility to have those kind of targeted kinds of. So I absolutely support that as a Democrat, but as someone, I think that's the right thing in the region.
Well, the other thing that's a little perplexing about that, you mentioned bringing up the Iran resolution tomorrow, is that we have not declared war, the United States, on any country since about 1942 on Romania. We have had so many military actions, whether you're talking about the Korean War or Vietnam or actions in the Middle East. We've had so many. And we also know that the War Powers Act of 1973 specifically gave said the president, then Nixon, could take military action, but he had to then brief Congress within a certain period of time. So what is the purpose tomorrow of voting on this? I mean, what is being sought?
I don't know. I think they just want like a spot referendum for Iran, and to even bring that up. I mean, now we're staring Iran down right now. What kind of a message does it send that we're just going to put this out? And I think every single Democrat, other than myself, would vote for that. So for me, I don't see any value in it based on the timing right now. But I absolutely think that the president has done the right thing about Iran consistently. And if anyone in Congress is committed to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear bomb, do you just want to talk about it, or are you willing to just provide the president the latitude to continue to destroy their program? And why else? Why else are they enriching uranium? Because clearly they want a nuclear bomb. And can you imagine what that means for Israel, for the region, and actually for the world right now, if they were able to? So I'm proud to stand in this issue with the president, and now he deserves to have the latitude, and I'm going to vote no. And that as far as I know, that dooms it, because there won't be enough votes.
I don't understand the Democrats not standing, as you mentioned, about this last night, and that you were the only Democrat. Because I've been around long enough. I know that the Democrats, they're good Americans, and nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Democrats don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. So really, so I don't understand. Is it just theater or just because they hate Trump so much, or what is it? Because this is a perplexing problem, and as you note, if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, the world changes as we know it.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely executed tens of thousands of their own young people. We've all seen those pictures of those warehouses with body bags, and those poor parents had to walk around and to see the horror and the carnage just to try to identify your child. I mean, this is who they are. This is what Iran does. And now remember, Iran is the one that created Hamas and Hezbollah and created this king and the 10/7 massacre too. So that's why. That's why. I don't know why that just seems to bother more Democrats than me, but it does me. And now, if anyone, they always say the same thing. Well, we can't allow them to acquire a nuclear bomb. It's like, yes, but if you're willing to do that or to back someone that can actually make that happen, I'm proud to do that.
Well, but the thing is that when it comes to issues of war, I mean, we've had huge debates in this country going back about war and huge discussions. But when push comes to shove on something so important as wars, we do sometimes try to show a little more unity, even when we have oppositions in opinions. And that's what is so striking about the Democrats. Just it doesn't feel like it was a policy disagreement. It seemed more like a personal disagreement with the president.
Well, it just sometimes it's like, but I mean, like this is our government right now. This is the Senate. We're so dysfunctional. We kept our government shut down for 44 days. And again, I happen to be one of the rare Democrats to refuse to vote that. And now here, our entire DHS apparatus is shut down. And I'm the only Democrat that votes against that now too. We can't even agree on keeping our government open. If you take our, we don't deserve to be part of this conversation at this point right now, because get our act together and reopen our government. And now, so that's why the situation in Iran is fluid, and now that's why we can just allow the president to make those kinds of smart, strategic kind of strikes at Iran, where we are now.
And these decisions are never easy for any president to make on either side of the aisle. These are, they're the toughest ones for presidents to make.
Yeah, and sometimes this kind of targeted kinds of strikes can actually bring peace. Now, it's like, I think might have been the only one that clapped about announcing, the Gaza. That was a big deal, it brought back all of the hostages, now. And now I think that's a big thing as well. So I don't know why. I don't care, the party of the president who was behind all of this. So for me, you have to celebrate that. And I don't know why. I want to focus on the things that we can agree on and now really back those things.
Senator Fetterman, always nice to talk to you, sir. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
People think news just happens. It doesn't. It happens because there's someone there to capture the moment, to explain it and share it. That's my job. I go where news breaks and give you the facts. Join me for The Record on Newsmax.